Hello, friends, and welcome to DTK Food and Travels. Today, we're going to do something different. We're going to see a castle. Yes, that's right, a castle. It's a day trip from Houston, Texas, to a little town called Belleville. It's about an hour and 10 minutes from Northwest Houston. So the castle we're going to see is called Newman's Castle, and it's just outside of Belleville in the rolling countryside. The castle features a moat, a massive 3,000-pound drawbridge, a chapel, 5 round turrets, a courtyard, a central keep with a dramatic view of the surrounding lands. You name it, it has it. So this castle, anyone can go see it. It's open to the public, but you do have to make a reservation at least the day before. It's $20 per person to see the castle. That includes the tour and your lunch. So Mike Newman, the guy who owns the house, he has a bakery in town, and that's where you go to pay for your ticket, and they'll give you the armband, and they'll give you the address to the castle at that time. The bakery does have a lot of goodies, which is so tempting, and they serve a lot of these cookies and the donuts along with your lunch at the castle. So if you like any of those cookies, you can go back to the bakery on your way back and get it. So this is the view of the castle. And this is our tour guide. Mike Newman himself will usually guide the tours, but he was not there, so this guy called himself the King's Helper. And he spoke for, I think, 10-15 minutes describing the castle. There are wooden swords there for the kids to play with. There were some toddlers and young kids there, and they looked like they were having a blast. This is the entrance to the castle. When we got there, we found out that the drawbridge has not worked for a little bit. The chain broke on one side, so the 3,000-pound drawbridge is not working right now. There are some ducks there. We didn't feed it. I don't know if you could feed it or not, so we didn't feed it. We did get there a little early. The tour starts at 11 a.m. So while you're waiting, there's a little trail there that goes all around the castle. And you can take that trail, and it takes about 10 minutes to walk the entire trail. And you had to cross several of these small bridges during the walk. And view from this walk, everywhere you look, it was beautiful. We took this tour in January, and 3-4 days prior to this trip it was raining, so the ground was still a little soaked, but other than that the trip was fine. I think if you go in spring or summer, I'm sure you'll see a lot more greenery, a lot more flowers, and the trees would be more green. I'm glad we did have jacket because it's a wooded area, so it was pretty cold. This guy who built this house, Mike Newman, he got the idea to build this castle because he was exploring Europe in his 20s, and someone invited him to stay at a castle there. So when he came back home, he had the idea to build it. So when he bought this 20 acres of land, this is what he came up with. He built this fairy tale castle out in the middle of nowhere in this beautiful area, and people from out of town come to see it. So once you go inside, there is this little courtyard, and that's part of the drawbridge. It's pretty big. I've never been to a castle, so I was in awe. And there are several rooms. There's a dungeon, a chapel, like I mentioned earlier, the big king's dining room. There's a lot you can just go around and see. You can touch everything in the house. Nothing is off limits except Mike Newman's bedroom. It is locked and it has a sign saying keep private room to keep out. But other than that, you're free to go around and just explore. Once you go inside, you're on your own. The guy just explains everything before he lets you in the castle. There's a view of the dungeon, and there's a staircase that you take to go up. Like I said before, I've never been to a castle, but I'm assuming all the stairwells are pretty dark. So when you go up and down the staircases, you have to be pretty careful because it is pretty dimly lit. There are several staircases where you can go up to the terrace and look out, and it's beautiful view from every terrace you go to. You can see the pond below, and a little bit you can see the courtyard. It's just a good view. And there is a bell tower here, and you can go up and ring the bell, but I did not because the staircase looked more like ladders to me and I didn't want to climb it. It's the big dining room. It's the living room with the fireplace and part of the other side of the living room. And there is a chapel there, and this 100-year-old Bible that's there. He got it from Britain. It's about 100 years old. And at the end of the tour, you get lunch. And then thank you for watching.